Hey there, my name is Jared Morris, co-founder of Marketing Maven. So glad you stopped by today. I've got a fun story to tell you about a recent camping trip and how it relates to business and Infusionsoft. Last week I took my family up to a location in Utah called Monte Cristo. So it's a big mountainous area, trees, a lot of pine trees and cottonwoods and white aspens. Gosh, lots of white aspens. Beautiful place. And when we pulled up to our campsite, one of the first things we noticed is that there are just squirrels everywhere. More squirrels than I've ever seen on any camping trip in my life. And my son Boston, who just turned 4, immediately gets his heart set on catching one of these squirrels. And as any good father would do, I said, you know what, son, we are gonna catch one of these squirrels. And just so you know, before I continue with the recording of this video, no squirrels were harmed in the making of this video. They were all safe and very sound. So we set up camp, as we're kind of setting up our tent and hammocks and those things, we kind of spotting out some places that we think would be good to set up a trap to catch a squirrel. And so we choose a place once we're all set up, and we go set up our trap. And here's what that looked like. Okay, so pretty sophisticated, right? Not really, but I'll tell you, it's worked for me in the past. I've totally used this method. You got a lid and a box and a stick holding it up with a string. You yank the string, boom, box comes down on the lid, and you've got a squirrel. Catch and release, of course. We'd always release them. That was our plan, and my kids were pretty dang excited about it. Well, what we had done also, you should know this, we put some bait under there. Squirrels aren't just gonna climb under a box. They gotta have some incentive, some motivation, right? Something to reel them in. And so we put my wife's chocolate chip pumpkin muffins. And we were pretty sure that that would do the trick. So after sitting there and waiting for about 15 minutes, most of the kids got pretty tired and are like, this is boring. We were seeing like literally 0 squirrels, and they're like, this is boring, Dad. So they took off playing, but my 4-year-old remained. He was pretty excited about catching that squirrel. And so he and I sat there together for about another 10, maybe another 15 minutes. And still no squirrel sightings. And previously they were just crawling all over the place, right? And so I, using my noodle, I was like, this is foolish to keep sitting here in the same place, waiting, investing this time, right? We saw some squirrels back behind us. We're like, let's move locations. So we pick up our trap and our bait and everything, and we move locations. And now we're seeing a lot better results, right? Squirrels are coming in. They're like 3-4 feet from my body, and 3 or 4 feet from the trap, sometimes 1-2 foot from the trap, kind of poking their head real close. And so we're like, all right, now we're in business. This continues, and still no squirrel actually enters underneath the trap. And I know I have the right bait, right? Like, Dad's like, my son Boston's like, Dad, maybe they don't like Mom's muffins. And I was like, son, no living creature doesn't love your mom's muffins. So we knew that was right, and we even threw in some Fruit Loops for good measure, right? But we're just not getting any hits, any bites, right? So after a while, even my son, who was pretty excited, pretty set on catching a squirrel, was like, Dad, I'm gonna go play with the girls. And I was like, okay, go ahead, buddy. I'll stay here. So I stayed there for about another half hour before I was finally a little bit tired of sitting and waiting. I was like, man, I did not come camping to sit at the end of a line and catch nothing. If I wanted to do that, I would have gone fishing, right? So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna leave this set up here, and when he's interested in doing it again, we'll come back, sit on the line, see if we can catch ourselves a squirrel. And so I leave, and when I come back about 2 hours later, more than half of the muffins and Fruit Loops were gone. The squirrels had come in, entered underneath the box, and taken them. So again, I knew I had the right bait. I was even putting my trap in the right location. But it relied on me being on the end of the string to pull the rope. And as I sat there thinking, I was like, gosh, could I build some type of tripwire to where, whether it was a pressure plate or some type of string around the thing, to where when the squirrel entered, then the box would close automatically? Because again, I didn't want to invest a ton of time always being ever present, always having to push the button, pull the string, whatever it is, right? And that's when like the business analogy hit me. And maybe you've already been piecing it together. But I started out in a certain location that I thought was good. I was using an approach that worked time and time again for me in the past. Now in business, sometimes we find some type of approach, a marketing, advertisement, a sales methodology or process that seems to work that one day may not work because market conditions change, right? I was also advertising in a certain location, so I was like, okay, hey, there's some really great squirrels over here. Well, sometimes your buyers, your customers, they move. And a place where you might used to find new customers no longer exists. It dries up, right? And you got to be willing to move and try new things. And we did that. And again, the right bait, in this case, we did have the right bait. But you might not have the right bait in business. You might think that your muffins are the best thing since sliced bread. They probably are. But the perceived value or just how it resonates with prospects may not be actually how you think it is. So sometimes you got to switch out that lead magnet, that hook, right? That bait to pull people in. But lastly, and I think this is most important, I think this is where I've worked with a lot of businesses. This is where most struggle. It's not running ads and it's not getting them to get to kind of in front of an offer or an opt-in. It's the process of actually taking that person and converting them to a sell. And if you rely solely on manual methods, you're always going to be very limited in your growth because you're always trading time for dollars, But if you're able to build systems and processes that are automated, that scale, you can then grow more rapidly. And so because of that, we've partnered with our friends over at Fix Your Funnel. We, Marketing Mavens Fix Your Funnel, we're putting on an event in San Diego, September 17th through 18th. I almost forgot the dates. Just a few weeks from now, September 17th through 18th. We're so excited about it. It's the second time we've put on the event. We got rave reviews last time, but our focus will be helping you to put automation models in your business, all throughout your business, to handle certain processes where usually things might slip through the cracks or just might not get fulfilled on, might not close, might not have as high of a percentage of conversion. We're going to help you identify the bottlenecks in your business, things where human input really could be automated, and where you can then use those human resources for things that really require human resources, like setting up tents and cots and hammocks, right? So I can't wait for you to join us. Somewhere on this page, I'll put a button for you to go to the event site, see all the speakers. We've invited Brad Martineau. He'll be speaking from 6th Division. Dave Lee from Plus This. Micah Mitchell from Membarium. Benji Rabhan from Appointment Core. We've got an all-star lineup. All of these guys, including ourselves, have more than 10 plus years in this automation game. We know it, we get it. And that's not like 10 collective years. That's like 10 years individually. We've all been doing this in different industries, in different niches, helping thousands of businesses implement automation. We're the guys you want in your corner, literally. And I try and say that as humbly as I can, but as confidently as I can. Really, we've got an all-star lineup. You want to come rub shoulders with us. You want us helping you in your business, answering questions, inputting systems that scale, and again, that are system-driven, computer-driven versus human-driven. So please come out and join us. I promise you won't regret it. What the event will do for you is it will pull back the curtain on what is currently limiting your growth. It'll help you put in automated systems to basically stretch beyond that where you currently are stuck, and it will poise you and position you for great success in Q4 of 2015. So thanks for staying with me through the end here. Hope you enjoyed the story. It was a great time. We didn't catch any squirrels, which again, like I said, no squirrels harmed, but it sure was a heck of a fun time trying. And it was a great business lesson learned for me. I hope it helps you out. So we'll see you in San Diego.